今天我们约了一个采访嘉宾，是北京联合大学的美国外教 Michael， 他把我们约在了这样一个小吃店，看着好像还挺正宗的，有点好奇他一会儿会跟我们聊点啥。Hey Michael.
Tea eggs, one of my favorites.
Wow, you've ordered tea egg?
I remember when I first came to China, usually they're in the dark water.
Yeah.
And I thought it looked really dirty. And I did not want to try it. I just thought, this is terrible. And when I tried it, they're so good right away. And I realized the dirty water is not dirty, it just has a lot of spices.
Why did you choose to come to China 25 years ago?
Well, I actually didn't come for the first time 25 years ago. I moved here 25 years ago. I moved here in the beginning of 1998, beginning of the spring semester, right after Chinese New Year. And so about 3 years before that would have been my first trip. And I came 4 different times and different places, but I loved it. So my first trip, I think it's just because I was enjoying it and I felt comfortable. Even other tourists on the trip said, Michael, I know you're coming back, because they could just feel that I liked it right away. I remember the Americans, we went into a small supermarket, a small grocery store, and we weren't used to the food, so the only thing that, for most of the people in our group, the only thing that looked good was the white rabbit candy. We bought all of the white rabbit candy, and in fact, I was at the end of the line. I don't know why, even my first trip to China, I felt like a host, not a guest. I felt like I should be helping the Americans, even though a couple of them had been here before. I just felt like this is my home. So I let them go first. And then when I got to the front, the white rabbit candy was all gone. And I remember we got invited to a Chinese home for Tangyuan. The girl who invited us, her father made them for our group. And the other Americans, most of them didn't like them. And I didn't want to hurt the man's feeling. And so I tried it and I liked it. And so when the man wasn't looking, everybody put theirs in my bowl. So I ate so many of those. But it just, in their home, the hospitality, they didn't know us, but they made us feel very welcome. I felt people were more hospitable toward people from outside than at least in my hometown in America. My hometown wasn't multicultural. Beijing, of course, has a lot of, it's very international here. So I think people were just very kind. It's interesting because when a lot of people, when I first came to China, they don't say it so much now because China's developed. Over these 25 years, I've seen so much development here. But people used to always say, oh, you're from America. America is a developed country. And I always would say, really? Are you sure? And one example I always hear is they say, because in America, everybody has a car. And I tell them, I say, the reason we have cars, because it's not because we're more developed, it's because our public transportation system is less developed than Chinese.
Yeah.
Now after this many years, I'm so used to life in China that it's just my life, I miss Chinese food when I'm in America, even for a few weeks or a month. I love the friendliness in China. I like it. China is more communal. We're more individualistic in America, but sometimes the individualism feels like selfishness when I go back, and I don't think anybody means to be selfish. It's just that everybody's not thinking about the other people as much.
There can be a thin line between the two.
There's a thin line between the two, yeah. There's a kind of reverse culture shock. You go back to your country, and anybody that visits any other country and spends a long time there, they will get that.
What is your plan for the future? Do you plan to stay on here in China?
I have no immediate plan to leave at all. My school is talking about next year already, talking about the plans, and the plans sound good. I'm comfortable here. My everyday life is comfortable. I'm used to it. So leaving would be a big change for me now after this many years here. I would miss the people, I would certainly miss the food, and yeah, it's because it's convenient just being here. So I have no immediate plans to leave. But I do need to leave now because I have to go to class.
Oh, right.
So it's great talking with you.
Yeah, it's great
See you
talking to
later.
you. Bye.
Bye-bye.